So today we're taking a tour of the sump. Hi everyone, it's Neil from Neil's Reef Aquarium. Hope you're all having a good week. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a tour of the sump, and we're going to go in depth of the equipment I've got, how it's all going, the refugium, and then we'll take a look upstairs and see how we're getting on this week. So let's go. Right, so I know we've done brief updates of the sump, so what I'm going to do is just go over, I can't think who it was. I want to say it was Ed from Reef Dreams that asked, gave me this suggestion to do a sump tour and go through the equipment I've got. So that's what we're going to do today. So this is my sump. As everyone knows, I've got the TMC Reef Habitat 90 tank, which comes with the standard sump, which is what I've kept it as. I haven't got a custom one. So we'll go over what we got in the sump, and we'll have a look at the equipment I've got. So we'll go from left to right. So here you can see we've got the now I have to excuse all the mess of the sump, by the way. I need some serious cable management time. I need to do that at some point. So let's have a look. So we've got, here is the ATO, so that's the RO reservoirs here. Now we've got, we'll come on to the equipment. I'll just go through the sections. So we've got the RO reservoir, then in the left middle chamber we have the skimmer, and we're going to go through each individual equipment in a bit. Then we've got in the right side skimmer and the right middle chamber we have the refugium, and then in the far right chamber we have the reactor, and if we look down there you can see the return pump. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the equipment. So what have we got? Now for my temperature controller I've got the DD temperature, the dual heating and cooling controller. Now what that does is, if we can see, I don't know if we can get to it. Can we get to it up there? Probably. You see just up here, is that there? Yeah, so there's a few plug sockets there. So there's one for that's got the heater on there. There'll be a probe that's right down there, and that obviously keeps an eye on the heater. If the heat goes below a certain level or goes up a certain level, the alarm will go off to let me know. There is a spare plug there. Now that is what you would connect the DD fan system to, which I will look to get one day. We are in England, so we don't get really hot days, but last year we did have a real bad heat wave where I had to buy a great big fan that if you look back on I think the previous videos, that was cooling this down, and we put in bags of ice in there and everything. So yeah, so that's what I've got as my controller. Now my skimmer is it's a bit of a need to clean actually, but it's the Red Sea Reefer 300 skimmer. I've had this from day one, but I'm not going to recommend it because I don't think it's so up and down. It's either overflowing with a wet skim, or I just want a nice thick dry skim, and I just can't. I've never been able to get that balance with it, so I'm not overly impressed with it. It's probably me rather than the skimmer. Maybe this, I don't know, but at the moment I will look to change that one day. You probably can't see, no, it's probably not going to pick it up I don't think because it's reflecting, but it is on a stand. Now when you want to first set this up, I thought it was breaking in, but it wasn't. And I just couldn't get it to settle. And turns out if you look there, that tells you where the water level needs to be, but that's a load of rubbish because it needs to actually be a lot higher than that, so I had to raise it up. And I did use an ice cream tub to start with, but I eventually got the actual reefer stand for it. which is a great bit of kit, and it's raised it up, and yeah, you know, it's kind of skimming. So yeah, so that's that one. So that's the skimmer. Oh, let's just come down to that. Now, obviously we've got the hard plumbing there for the plumbing. One thing I have got, which is the DD skimmer guard. Now what that is, if you have a look on there, there's a little probe that's on there, like a little sensor. Now what you'll probably find, I'm sure we've all had it before, where your skimmer just overflows, you come out, you come and have a look, and there's bubbles, oh god, there's bubbles everywhere. And obviously with the ATO, if that's overflowing and going all the time, the ATO kicks in, because you know, it's the water's coming out through there. So so what this does is it's got a sensor on it, so you put that on, it links to the plug of the skimmer, and then what happens, once the water, if the temperature, the water was to go up to about this level, it would basically kick in and it would turn the skimmer off. So it's actually good if you're away, and what you'll find, what will happen then is an alarm will set, so you get like a beep beep beep, and then I know that that's obviously filled up, and all you got to do is just empty it out, and then it will kick back in again. And then you might just want to turn it down, which is what I've done a minute ago, just before I started shooting this video. It done it, so I've turned it right down at the moment, which is why it's not coming up from there. So that's that. So let's go on to the next bit of kit, which is the Tunzi light. It's a refugium light. I'm not going to put links in the description. If anyone wants a link to any of these products, just message me in the comments or on my Instagram, and I will send you a link for it all. But yeah, the refugium light is fantastic, absolutely perfect. My Chato is growing like crazy. It is to the point I only harvested it last week, and if we have a look, look, it's so thick, really thick and dense. So I actually need to do it again. Look how thick that is. You know, so it is growing really, really well, which is fantastic. So yeah, we'll move on. So the next bit of kit we'll look at is the H2 Ocean reactor, which I currently have Rofos in. You need a pump for it. You just connect it. I've just gone for a little Eheim pump. And yeah, I've got my, you can use it for a Rofos, carbon, whatever you want. I've gone for Rofos. I have got a bag of carbon in here as well, which I change usually at the same time. So yeah, that does its job, and it keeps my phosphates down, and I never really turn it off. I keep it going the whole time. Now in between the weirs here, or between the chambers, we have the filter floss either side there and there, which is that obviously gives me even clearer and crystal clear water. You could potentially get a Clarity in here if you was to lose some of your refugiums, so that's something to consider for the future. Down here we've got the TMC, I suppose just the containers to put your dosing fluids in. So you've got 3 containers, so you'd probably have like your alk, calcium and magnesium. I've opted for all for Reef in this one, and we've got no pox in that one, which comes onto the doser, which is the DDH2 Ocean. I don't know if it's the Pro or what. Is it the Pro? I think it is. Yes, it's got Pro. Yeah, so that's the Pro. It's got the colourful tubes there, and then well, I'm supposed to dose. It is supposed to dose, for some reason for this one's not working. I don't know. I don't. Sean set this up, and I'm not that clued up on it, so I've been manually dosing. There's obviously air or something that's caught in there, so once they're all safe, I'll get them around. We'll get that fixed. I'm terrible at equipment, so I just get him to set it all up. So that's that. Yeah. So you know, it's a nice. It's been sat in the drawer for about a year before I started to use it. So I've just started to use that, and yeah, once we get this sorted, I'm sure it'll be all fine. And it links to the phone and the app, and it's just a great bit of kit. So next we got the Vectra, which is the S2 Ecotech return pump. As you'll know from my previous videos, well, return pump went, so we replaced that probably a couple of videos ago, a couple of weeks ago, and that, you can't really see it there, but it's in there, and that's doing really well, so really happy with that. Absolutely love it. I did have the TMC, but it did obviously eventually pack up. So yeah, you know, it's the Sump is it's, you know, obviously I think everyone wished they could have a slightly bigger one, but it's doing the job at the moment. The refugium is growing. You know, there's I think there's a good pod culture in there. Although I do top my pods up, there is a you know, I can see there's pods and things in there. So, but the actual Chato itself was originally from the algae barn, so I was very, very careful. I didn't want to put any bristleworms or any crap into my refugium, so I did spend a lot of money on that, and I had the original Chato come ordered from America from the algae barn, so it was 100% clean. However, I have been advised, I think it was Reef Community Worldwide told me that all you have got to do is soak it into RO. So if anyone is setting up a refugium, you don't need to spend a fortune. Certainly, well, you spend a fortune because you're paying for the shipping from America, but if we had one in England it'd be different. But otherwise, I would say what you need to do is just to buy some Chato, soak it in RO, and all the pests will come off. So that's what you need to do. But that is really it from the tour of the refugium. Now, if anyone's got any questions on my equipment, just put them in the comments and ask. And yeah, you know, really happy with it. So I don't think I've missed any equipment out. Let me just go. We've done that. We've got the... Oh, the ATO. Sorry, yeah. So we got the DD ATO, if you can just see it there. So it's got a little sensor on it, and obviously there's a pump that comes, you can see it there, it's just a little pump that's in the RO reservoir, and obviously once that water level goes down there, that then kicks in, and then the pump just brings RO into the chamber. But yeah, a lot of mess, and one thing I don't like is all this electrical cables going on around the water. So at some point I will look to move that elsewhere, on obviously externally on the tank. But yeah, so that's that. So let's have a quick look upstairs, and then we'll have a little chat. Right, so it's just going to be a brief update with the tank really, upstairs anyway. So but yeah, all the corals looking all good at the moment. You know, you can't really see it because of the light at the moment, but the algae is up and down. I do think I need to maybe increase the no-pox a bit. I did stop dosing it a bit last week, or reduced it down, but everything seems really good. We will have a look at the parameters in a sec for this week. But one thing that has moved actually, and is my rock flower anemone. It was there, and I woke up this morning to see that it's moved. So I'm sure the goby's going to be, my pink spot goby's going to be fuming, because that's his little spot there. So obviously he must have moved somewhere, but either that or he's eating him. I doubt it, he's a beast. So but yeah, he's moved. But I love the rock flower nems, and I watched a video on Reef Dudes the other day, and he had them all over the tank, and it's really inspired me to get some more. I think they look fantastic. So yeah, so they can go on the move if they need to, which is good, because they'll find somewhere that's more appropriate. Could be a bit less flow around there, so that's why he's moved to the back. But the Zoa's all going really good. If you have a look there, I should be able to pull that frag plug up soon, and then maybe, you know, let that grow. You know, if I pull up the frag, there'll be God knows how many heads on there, and I can maybe, I don't know, give that to another refill, sell it or whatever. Then that will just go onto the rock. We've got the pot of Goldfarvia. You know, there doesn't really seem much growth in that one. Again, that's one of those things from buying online. It looked a lot better than it does. But you're really happy with the Zoa garden. I am going to look to obviously get some more, like I said on my previous videos. And obviously we've got the hammer there. I want to get some more hammers around here. And we've got a lot of space here, so I'm still not too sure what I want to do with that yet. And we've got this whole section here that we can add, so put suggestions in the comments what you would recommend for me to put there and also put there. I'm thinking obviously down here is going to be torches, so because you can keep them, so you know, I want a gold torch there and maybe a kryptonite torch at some point. Get some different colour hammers going in there, the orange and the gold as well. We got a whole section here. I think that's going to be a chalice section there. So get some nice chalices at some point and get them encrusted onto the rock. But we got plenty of space in this tank, you know, for a 3-foot tank, 250 litre tank. There's still a lot of space. Now, obviously, because of COVID, you know, you'll know I do like to go out and actually buy them in person. So I've kind of held back on buying corals, but that will come to us an end soon. So yeah, let's take a look at the parameters. Right, so let's have a look. So we got nitrates at 5, pH at 8.08, phosphate at 0.08, salinity 34.2, calcium 480, alkalinity 7.3, which is lower than, you know, maybe put the dose back up to 10 ml a day for the Alpha Reef. Magnesium 1400. So yeah, pretty very stable. I mean, we look at last week's there. We've, you know, compared to that, it's actually it's not really, but you know, it's stable enough anyway. You know, the corals seem happy. So yeah. So overall, it's just not really much to report. But I thought I'd do the Sump Tour today, just so I could show you the bits. Now, I've probably done reviews on all the bits on there, but someone, I think it was Ed, asked me to do a tour of the sump and go through the equipment I've got. So there we have it. Yeah, really happy with the tank. Absolutely love it at the moment. You know, can't wait to start filling it again. And yeah, it's great. So right, so let's do some shout outs. So I want to say thank you to any new subscribers. You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you'll get notified when I upload, which is normally every single week and usually on a Sunday. So what else I want to say? Live stream. Now I've mentioned it before, but there's the Friday live stream with Jay's Real Reef UK, the Bearded Reef, Muggy's Aquarium and Fish Palace. So if you're not watching that, make sure you watch it. It's 8 o'clock every Friday and it is absolutely fantastic. I've been watching it from the beginning and I'm going to be a guest on there next week. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me, get on that stream next week and you can ask me any questions. So I'll be on there and I'm really looking forward to it. They're an absolutely amazing bunch of lads. And I'm honoured to be on there. So a big thank you to them. And we'll have a drink, have a laugh, and make sure you get on there because it's absolutely brilliant. And it's 2 hours, 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock usually. So I believe this week it's going to be on, I think it's Muggsy's Aquarium, or maybe the Bearded Reef, but I will look on my Instagram. I'm going to put a flyer on there with the details of where it is and when it is, and yeah, make sure you get on there so we can, if you've got any questions, have a chat. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I think that's it for this week. So thank you to everyone, and any questions, hit me in the comments. Don't forget to like, and I will catch you next week. See ya.